and welcome back. This is going to be a Pickacard reading about what has recently just shifted or changed or transformed in your life. So we have 3 decks to choose from, and you can choose more than one if you're drawn to more than one. So there's this deck. I really don't know what the names of them are. So pile 1, pile 2, and then this one, it's a Grateful Dead deck. Just a regular playing card deck. So go ahead and pick your pile and we will begin. For pile 1, so recently there's been a redirection in your path. So you may have been going on one pathway or you may have had one idea about where your life was going, and then all of a sudden everything shifted. Like all of your plans, all of your expectations of what would happen in the next year or so, everything just kind of changed immediately. Maybe it was a job, maybe you were planning to stay at a job or to leave a job, and then something within that changed. But this is definitely something you weren't expecting or planning for, but it doesn't feel like it's a bad or scary thing. Like it doesn't feel like it came in and it was something you didn't want. It was just something you didn't even think of because it was just totally not expected. So if that resonates, this is definitely your pile. Something clicked for you as you were working on, like as this comes up, financial constraints in reverse. This is really showing me, sorry, I got distracted because the 13, it's telling me this coming Friday the 13th, it's happening this week. So if you're watching this, I'm filming it October of 2023, and this month there's Friday the 13th, and I feel like something significant is going to happen on that day regarding your finances or your wealth or your income, anything to do with how you're bringing in money, like physically money. We're already working on manifesting more money or getting rid of whatever was blocking it from coming to you. You are working on not just your career and your job, but also within yourself, clearing anything that you felt was blocking finances or material wealth coming in. You were already on that, and it's like you're already building towards it, working towards it, putting energy towards that, towards improving yourself in those ways. And it really is paying off. It may not have felt like it because it may have been something where you have to do a lot of work without seeing much progress or without seeing the results, but then it kind of happens all at once. Like it's, from your perspective, it's not gradual, like you see nothing and nothing and nothing, and then all of a sudden it's just there. Kind of like if you had planted something and like you're not even seeing any little seed sprout, and every day it's the same, and then one day it's completely sprouted, like it grew so much overnight. It's that type of energy. And I get that you welcomed in this energy. So I keep being guided to play these chimes. So you could be listening to certain frequencies that are really helping you clear energies in your body. So for everybody, there are methods that work best because everybody's different. There's methods that work best to clear energy. For some people, what they eat really has a huge effect on that. What they consume, they eat, what they drink. For other people, what they listen to, the tones and the frequencies have a really great effect. For some people, just intention, thought, prayer have the greatest effect. Now, all these things affect everyone, but for certain people, certain ones work better or faster, you're more drawn to. And so for you, I am getting that frequencies, chimes, music, that type of thing can really be healing for you and helpful to instantly change your mood, or if you're in a mood you don't want to be in, it can instantly lift that or change it. So this shift, again, it was something that you were putting a lot of work in, not seeing results, but you kept doing it. You didn't rely on needing to see results because you trusted in what you were doing. But still, it can be a little discouraging to be doing work every day, putting in the same effort and not seeing results. But I get that in other ways you were seeing results or you were seeing changes, and you were focusing on those instead of focusing on the ways that things were staying the same. You were really focused on what is changing, what is getting better. And like you knew to do that. You knew to focus on what is happening that you enjoy, that you want more of, rather than what's not happened yet. So with this, it's like the energy you didn't realize, like you were just doing your own thing because you believed in it, because there was some part of it that you just really trusted in, that really connected with you. And then all of a sudden, all these things come from it. So it's like you had the ability to tap into this creative center within yourself that doesn't need logic, it doesn't need explanations, it doesn't need proof, it just goes by feeling. You were acting out of that space and applying that in a physical, logical way. So you're kind of blending these energies of like feminine and masculine, of creative and logical. It's like, I don't think you didn't realize fully what you were doing, but everything you were doing was so right for for the goal you were trying to get to. Like you were doing everything perfectly. So let's get some more. So I feel like for most of you, this has already happened. Everything just completely changing from your plan, or it's about to, but it feels like for most of you, it already has started happening. Like you already know what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's this energy of needing to continue, and basically Spirit's saying keep up the good work. Like everything you're doing, keep doing it. The same way you're doing it, keep doing it. The same way, at the same rate you're growing, continue to grow. Like don't change anything. And it's saying like, yes, you can feel these. So you may not be experiencing these necessarily yet. Like maybe there's something you just know you're working towards it. You know you're going in that direction. You know it's going to happen. There's not a doubt there in your mind. It's just about dealing with the hard parts of not having it yet. So it's like you trust that it's coming, but you're still having to deal with the challenges of not having it for the time being, even though you know it's coming. And whatever this means to you, it could be different for everybody. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. It's just something that you know you're working towards, you know you're going to get, but it can be kind of challenging not having it yet. But you're so close and you can feel it. You know that you are, and you can feel yourself getting closer in every moment, and you're focusing there instead of focusing on what's staying the same. You're focusing there. Continue to do that. Okay, when you make popcorn, you know how you're waiting and then you start to hear the first pop and then another pop and then pop, 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 and then they start to like build up and then it's just a bunch of pops. So that's what I'm getting. It's going to be like for you. Like each of those pops is another thing you weren't necessarily expecting, or it's happening. You know how they say, to manifest what you want, let go of how it has to happen. Just focus on what you want to happen, but don't worry about the details or get hung up on like when, how. Just trust that it will, right? So it's like you did that, and now this is when it's happening, but in unexpected ways. But things are happening. So I just get like these pops, like now this changes, and it's instant. It's like right now, but it's unexpected, but it's like building up momentum. So something has already popped, something has already changed, shifted, that you know, that you're conscious of, that you're thinking about when I'm saying this. But that will continue, and then another one, and then another one, and it'll just build until everything. So the things you're waiting on, there won't be anything left to wait on, to shift or change. It'll just like a whole bag of popcorn, all pops, no kernels left. Like fireworks, like, you know, towards the end of a fireworks show when like they let all of them go at once and like it's like a big bang, it goes out with a big bang. That's what I'm seeing. It's like the build up, like pop, 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 and then build up, and then it's just everything changes. And then it's like, you're like, oh, that was the shift. And then a bigger one happens. You're like, oh no, that was the shift. And then another one, oh, that, and it's like, no, it's just gonna keep increasing. Like whatever you think is big, whatever you think is significant, it's just gonna increase. Okay, you're completely out of indecision. You're completely out of being torn between should I do this? Should I do this? Should I stop? Should I go? And you were in that for a while, but you're out now and everything is just clear that things are different now, because there's something solid. There's something like you're back in your body. You're grounded in a new way. You're grounded to new earth. You're grounded to this new reality now. And you may still be adjusting in other ways, but for the most part, you're already grounded here now. You've done the work to be and to do. And now, so I'm kidding. Okay, I'm seeing like the energy of fate going like this, like cracking their knuckles and being like, let me begin. Like now, okay, so one way to explain fate versus free will is there are destined, fated things that are, I guess you could say, inevitable, but they don't even necessarily have to happen in one lifetime, because how time is different, right? So it's like things will happen, but you can prevent them from happening for a long time, for many, many lifetimes. Like you can be as stubborn or as flowing with destiny as you want. But the thing is, it's not like you and your will versus destiny. It's literally the same thing. Destiny and fate is just what you would know you could do if you had no doubts. Like it's what you would want. It's your biggest, deepest desires and dreams. So it's not separate, or it's not like this other force telling you this is what you're supposed to be. It's like you have chosen this. You have chosen your own fate and destiny before you come here. You agree to it. But maybe I'm getting too off topic, but it's the 8 here is like, now that so people can be as willing and open or as closed off to fate, to their own fate and destiny as they want to be. But the harder you push against it and reject it, it's like things will never feel quite right. Things will never feel quite aligned. But when you are following your destined path, that's when everything just seems like it just works out for you. It just flows to you. And even when you're in situations that seem impossible, they just work out perfectly, like better than you could ever expect. And it's almost like there's this larger force carrying you through that regular life things would normally get in the way of, but this force is bigger than that, so they don't even stand a chance, if that makes sense. So it's like you have gotten all the things out of your way that were preventing you from being on this aligned path. It's like you were on it, but there was stuff and you couldn't move as fast on it as you wanted to because there was all this junk in the ways, but you've cleared that now. So it's like fate, that's why they're like cracking their knuckles, like, all right, now I can get to work. Like now it's like you've surrendered, so now they can take over. And they're like, watch how your life is when you're fully surrendered and when we can take over. It's kind of like, I don't even know, I'm trying to think of a good example. I'm thinking of both riding a horse and buggy and a roller coaster. I'm trying to see how they connect. It's something about, imagine trying to, I'll do with the horse, like something about, let's say someone has never ridden a horse before and they get on and they're trying to like make it go, make it stop, and it's just not working out. They don't know what they're doing. And then they just are like, all right, let me just let the horse go. And they just let the horse run, and now they're going so fast because they're letting the horse do what it was meant to do. It wasn't meant to be controlled by someone that doesn't even know what it's doing. It's meant to be free, and the horse knows what to do. So it's almost like, in this case, the horse would be destiny. Instead of you trying to control it and tell it what to do when you don't even know, you're just like, all right, I trust it, and I'm just gonna ride. And it's like, now you're really flying. Now you're going so fast. And that can only happen. You can only have that experience when you fully surrender. And it takes a lot of work to get to the place where you can fully surrender. But you have. And this is why, it's like the part of you that was guiding you this way knew you wanted to feel this way and experience this feeling, and knew what it took to get you here, and that part of you communicated with you, and you listened and you trusted it, and it led you here. So I think that covers it all. You made a cute little reverse pyramid. So yeah, thank you for watching. Keep up the great work, and you're about to experience life like you've never experienced it before, in a way you couldn't even imagine, in a way you haven't even experienced in your dreams. Like, this is something completely new. So get excited. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. So for pile 2, this deck, let's see what has recently changed or shifted. That really wanted to come up. Or what is about to, what is going to. So right away I'm getting that time. Like, you can't even grasp the concept of time right now. Time is very wonky, distorted, weird right now. So it's like the past, future, present, all being molded and blended in a weird way. Right away, this, I could feel the energy of this. And if you don't know, this card is the 10 of Cups, which represents like complete emotional fulfillment. It's 10 is like the completion, the fullness, and cups represent emotion. So it's like having everything, truly having everything, because you could have everything physically but still feel empty inside and in your heart. But this is like having everything you need on the inside, so everything out on the outside, it almost doesn't matter what you have because you're fulfilled. It's this ultimate fulfillment. But I can feel the card, and it's like, it's here. The happiness is here. And I feel like you're someone who's cried so much, just wondering, when will I be happy again? Will I ever be happy again? Like, actually happy, and trying to remember what it was like, trying to see if you can even remember what that even feels like. And you've just waited, and for so long it felt like there was nothing you could do. Like, you were just at the mercy of time, and you just had to wait. Time is going to be really relevant in this reading. Also, Chronos, Saturn type of energy. Also, if I just say random things and you don't understand or it doesn't make sense, it's okay. It's only extra words or confirmations for people that they will know. But if it doesn't connect with you, that's okay. It doesn't mean it's not, the reading's not for you. Anyway, this feels hard to define, is the best way to define it. It's hard to define, it's hard to label, it's hard to describe. But I think because it's moving you out of this, it's like you've been experiencing the world from a very analytical point of view, and you may be like, no, I feel everything a lot. And that's, I'm not saying that's not true, but the way that, you know how everybody has a different experience of life in the world. Well, one big factor in that is, it's almost like wearing glasses. Like, you know those glasses you get around the holidays, and they make, when you look at a light, you see like little bells or little reindeer or something. Or those glasses that you wear and you can see what it's like to be colorblind, or maybe someone who is colorblind wears special glasses and now they can see regular colors. What I'm trying to say is, it's similar to that, but it's more than just putting on a perspective or glasses. It's literally your entire experience of the world. Not just what you see, but what you actually feel, what you, like I said, your entire experience. People experience it from different places. Now, children often experience it from an emotional place. So it's a very watery, emotional energy. They experience the world through feelings. Everything makes them feel. And over time, they're taught not to live that way, and because it's not safe, their feelings get hurt too much, or they're not protected, their emotions aren't protected and kept sacred. And so they have to kind of hide them away. And there's different approaches people take. Some people can manage to stay in that, but a lot of times if you can, it takes going through not having that and then getting it back. So, but you'll notice, like, that's one difference in children and adults, is that children experience the world emotionally, because that's like the core of it. Like that's like, I'm trying to find a way to explain this. And also the things I say are not absolute. I'm just trying to find the best words to translate what I'm sensing, what I'm picking up on. Just to explain, not to say it's only this way or this way I'm saying is the only way. Anyway, so there's something about certain people. So you, who's ever picked this pile, you turn to a very analytical approach. So people who do that, they analyze life. It's like they're a computer. They've turned their mind, they turn the emotions off. They don't use the emotions, they use the mind. They scan, they analyze, they put things in folders. That's how they experience the world, which has certain benefits because you notice patterns that others may not. And you can pick up on the sacred geometry of the earth, the part where math and science meet, where it's all one, spirit and math and the numbers of the universe, all that type of thing. So, but also it can also deprive you, because what happens is when you're in the feeling, like how people start out like as children, when you feel the world, you're getting all the senses. But as you choose just one way to interpret the world or to focus on, the other senses get deadened. For example, let's say you're using your mind, but you can't feel the world, you can't see it. I don't know, maybe I'm not explaining this well. Let me just collect my thoughts and think of a better way to explain this. So basically, you're missing out on a lot even when you're in the moment. Like this moment, all that you're able to take in is limited when you are experiencing life in an analytical way or in any other way other than emotional. Now, of course, children should be taught how to keep their emotions safe and protective in a way that they don't have to hide them. They just know how to protect them. And they should be taught to, like, it's not a weakness, it's a skill. But most people don't know how to even do that, so how could they teach a child that? Okay, so right now it's like your abilities that you've been relying on are being shut off. So the computer is shutting down and you're like, wait, how will I analyze my samples without my computer? And you're gonna realize you have to go back to your old like magnifying glass or microscope and like get back into the feeling, the doing, the sensing. Or maybe you don't have any tools left and you have to literally tap into your gut and your intuition and feel the answer, which could feel really off to you, because if you're coming from an analytical point, you don't feel the answer, you prove it with evidence and facts. That's how you know it's real. But when that doesn't work anymore, what are you gonna do? Who are you gonna call? So anyway, a lot of this energy, it's like not that it's not straight to the point, but it's hard to define. Like I said, this reading, it's like kind of a little bit all over the place, but it's like calm chaos or controlled chaos. Like there's this balanced element to it, so it doesn't feel messy. It feels like a safe place to make a mess, is what I heard. Strange. So you're shifting out of this computer robotic sense of the world. And if you've been feeling like, why is the world, like, I'm really smart, my mind knows a lot, I have a lot of knowledge, a lot of information, but I don't feel like I'm living. I'm just collecting data, but I'm not living. If you've been feeling like that, this is helping you get out of that and showing you don't have to be in that analytical way anymore. You can move back into your feeling way, which is what you've always wanted to do, even if you didn't realize it, because that's what feels more natural to you. It's like you've had to learn. It doesn't mean that it doesn't come natural to analyze for you, but to only do that and to do that first and to do that as the ultimate answer, that's not natural for you. That was a learned behavior. And it's like you want to go back to the natural way, the way that you don't even have to try. It just comes to you. But the fact that this started with 10 of Cups, also having 4 of Wands, which is you're safe, you're here, you've made it. Like, you've built this strong foundation for yourself. And now, kind of like the 3 little piggies, you know, which one doesn't get blown down? The one with the strong foundation. This Tower in reverse, you've passed the hardest parts of your life already. You really have. It doesn't mean there won't be other difficult challenges, but they will never impact you in the way that they did. They will never bring you all the way down to where you're going to have to rebuild yourself. You will never have that, because you've learned through being broken down over and over and over. You've learned how to have the perfect foundation, how to build the perfect foundation. You've learned that and you've done it. And now, yeah, your tower may take a little damage here and there, but it will never come down, ever. And it will always be, you know, something that can easily be fixed. Like, oh, no big deal. A crack in the window, no big deal. We can fix that. And there's something about, even when there's cracks, it's so beautiful. It's even almost more beautiful. Like, if there was something that was perfect, like the epitome of beauty, and then it got not destroyed but damaged in some way, somehow, even though it was the epitome of beauty before, somehow it has now become more beautiful. So whatever that means for you, that's coming through. Something was perfect before, the definition of perfect, and now that it's damaged, or it's like it's taken beauty to a whole nother level. If it was at the highest level before, it raised the bar now, and it's can't even compare. So, but I was saying the fact that it starts with this and it's ending with, you know, the Tower in reverse, this is like truly the happiness that you knew that it was carrying you through all the challenging times, all the impossible, difficult times. You knew something was carrying you through it, something. Maybe you didn't even know what it was, but it was just something you believed in, of feeling. And see, that's the point here. That's what carried you. It wasn't anything logical. Logically, this could have never happened. Logically, your existence is impossible. Logically, where you are at and where you have made it is impossible. And you couldn't have gotten here on logic. And you didn't. And I think Spirit wants you to see this, all this time you've been afraid to fully be in your feeling and your emotion and your intuition, but you haven't realized all this time you've been being carried by it. You've been guided by it all of this time. And so you're more than safe to trust it and to go into it. And it won't be like before, when you didn't know how to protect those parts of yourself, and so they got hurt. It won't be like that, because you've learned. And it's safe to come out now. It's safe to bring this inner child out. It's safe to awaken it, to awaken your inner innocence. It's safe to come out and play. It's like, you know, like when there's something dramatic or scary going on, you might like send the kids to another room so they don't see it, experience it. But then it's like, okay, you guys can come out now. It's fine. It's like that energy. It's like, okay, it's safe to come out. Everything's fine. Also, this feels like you're going to be getting a lot of messages. So you're not going to get all the information in this reading, but you're meant to kind of pick up more messages on the journey. So you're going to get some messages here from, like, maybe someone will mention something to you and a word they say triggers a message. Like, you'll be getting messages from all kinds of places, from everywhere. Signs, things you see in the clouds. You'll even maybe feel animals speaking to you. You'll be like, I feel like that crow just told me something. And it did. If you feel like that, it did. Don't second guess yourself. Yeah, this is you. Like, this tower is over and now you're free to get what you've deserved, what you've worked for. But I want you to notice your energy is not desperate. Your energy is not needing. Your energy is not like high strung and like so hot and intense and full of fire, like all this fire trapped in your body. It's not that anymore. And it was. And it's like now you're getting everything that you at one point needed so desperately. And now maybe it's not even that you don't need it. Maybe you're like, no, I still could use that. That could be very useful. But it's like you don't have this energy of, I'm not okay, or I'm not going to be okay. You know you're okay, and you know you're going to be okay. And that energy is actually what created this shift for you. And you did a lot of work to be able to be in that energy. And now this shift, so the last pile, it was very like intense, like pop, pop, pop. This is different. This shift, it's so gradual. Just like this reading, I couldn't tell where it begins. I can't even tell where it's supposed to end. There's a lot of uncertainty, but that's because I'm maybe trying too hard to be in my thinking mind and explain and analyze when I really just need to be feeling it. So it's like the heaviness is lifted, but there's no like need anymore. It's just being, just existing. So you will find more and more, like this message will just continue in other ways for you. But I hope you enjoyed this part of it. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Last but not least, Grateful Dead. You're somebody who you like to know for certain. You don't like to be kind of, well, this, or it could be this. You like to know for sure answers. Like, no, I don't know. I don't want to know what it could be. I want to know for certain. Just give me a straight up, clear answer. You could be someone like that. And maybe you're realizing it's okay to change your mind, or it's okay to feel more than one thing. Or like, maybe you're someone who's always been like, well, I'm part of this group, or I'm part of this side, but it's like, you don't always have to be this or that. You can be both. You can be neither. You can be a little of this, a lot of this. Like, I think you're stepping into the gray and realizing not everything has to be so black and white. Everybody has their own perspective, but it's more than a perspective of life. It's like your entire experience is different. And for you, you could be someone who your experience is very, or it has been very like black and white. And maybe that's how you were raised, or maybe that's just like you were told a lot of people. Okay, here's what I'm hearing. Growing up, there were a lot of people, a lot of adults in your life, a lot of people you trusted or looked up to or thought knew what they were talking about. You had a lot of these people telling you what is what when they actually didn't have a clue, is what I'm hearing. They had no clue, but they were out here with the confidence like they created the whole system. Like, they were really out here trying to tell you what's what and what's true about life when they were so far off. And because you wanted to do the right thing, you wanted to be good, you wanted to be right, so you believed them even if it didn't feel right to you. You're like, well, this must be true then. But in a way, okay, this is sad. Here's what I'm hearing. You lost your innocence very young when you decided to believe what others told you over believing your own heart, because your own heart was full of this. When I say innocence, it's like that pure love essence that children are born with. Just pure love before they know anything other than love. That energy was so strong within you, and it was your guidance system. Yet other people who you trusted, and it's not your fault, you did this to survive. And it was ultimately the right choice if it kept you alive this long and brought you here. But like, I'm not blaming kids for anything they do, because they're just trying to survive, right? But the point is, you chose to take on these beliefs of these people who didn't know what they were talking about. Spirit is very, very, like, wanting to get the point across that these people, like, who do they think they are telling you what's true, as if they have a clue, as if they've gone out and actually done the research and actually sought, like, these people, where they got their information from, it's like nobody actually got the information. It was like lazy information is what I'm hearing. Lazy information is when you hear something and you're immediately like, oh, that must be true, or that must not be true, and you don't do any further research, or it's just something somebody said. It's just a rumor at this point that you've chosen to believe is true. And I'm not talking about when people who have the ability to know, to discern right away if something's true or not. That's not what I'm talking about. Because that is real and you can know immediately, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, like, I don't even know where the origin of this BS went. Spirit is not using nice words for this information because it's so against the truth. And it's so sad that you decided to believe these things, that you felt you had to believe these things instead of your innate true knowing. You were always very, very connected to Gaia, to earth, to nature, to all the elementals, fairies, always connected, angels, connected so closely. Like you were a true, I don't even know the word for it, like maybe medium, but not like, it's just like you were connected to everything, like not just specifically to this thing or that, like you were just connected, period. But you've lived in disconnection for so long by taking on the belief that things are only this way, there's only one truth and nothing else. Oh, okay, let me show you this picture real quick. This picture, it's a quick like drawing that I channeled, but I'm gonna explain this really well for you. Let's say this line is spirit or God or all that is, basically the truth, love, whatever you want to call it, and it has no end, no beginning, it's just forever, right? Oops. Okay, so let's say this line is the earth plane. So up here is the spirit realm, spirit world, everything that is non-physical. And then here is the physical world, okay? So most people on the physical, they can't see past this line. So from their perspective, they see this as one thing, this as one thing, this as one thing, and this as another thing. And again, it goes on forever. I just don't have a board that long. So just this is like people who see black and white, who see things for black and white. They see this as yes, because they can tell, their inner being knows this is connected to something that's true. So they say yes. Something within them resonates with this one. They say, yes, that's the truth. This is not, this is not, this is not. That's lies. Those are false truths. Those are misinformation, whatever. But this is the one truth. But then there's other people who say, well, no, this, I can see this. I can see the divinity, the truth, the love in this. This is the truth. Not this, not this, not this. Other people may say, I can see some of this and some of this, but not this or this. You get the idea. What they don't realize, what only some people, psychic, intuitive types of people are able to see, who can see beyond this line, that it's all the same thing. It's the entire same thing, just in different ways, in different views, in different forms, and with different names. But if you're someone who believes only this or this could be true, and you don't believe this and this and this and this could be true, then you're cutting yourself off from what actually is true. if that makes sense. So I hope that little picture helped. The point is, it's like you're getting back to the root, to the core of who you are, who you always were before all these things affected you. And don't feel bad is a big thing, because you could be someone who tends to feel guilty. Again, you made the best choices you could for yourself, and they were good choices. You did what you had to do, and if you're still here, you made every right choice, okay? And also, you learned a lot by, like, when you know what not to do, now you know what you should do, right? So even by doing something that's not in alignment with who you are, you're still learning. You're still getting something out of that. So nothing was for nothing. Nothing was wasted. But your inner being wants you to enjoy life more. And when you force yourself to say this or this, you force yourself to choose a side or to pick, you're cutting yourself off from the joy of life. Because it's not this or this. It's this and this and this and this. And it's okay if you don't see all of them. You don't have to. Just knowing that you don't know, and that's okay. You don't have to know it all. And what you do know is enough. And this can be true today for you. And tomorrow you could wake up and realize it's not true, and that's okay too. Just being easy with yourself. Also, I don't know if this is because it's my third reading or if this is a sign for you, but my throat's feeling extra dry right now. So you could be experiencing that. And that's connected to the throat chakra and your ability to communicate what you actually feel, which is also something that's strong within you, but has been cut off when you were told how you're supposed to feel. And so now when you feel something, you say no. You cut it off and you say, this is how I'm supposed to feel. But it's like, you can't do that anymore. You're not going to be able to be your own enemy anymore. You're not going to be able to get in your way anymore. Like, spirit is moving you out of your own way because it wasn't your fault to begin with. You didn't get in your own way on purpose, you know? It's like, it wasn't because of your bad choices, not even bad, but it wasn't because it wasn't your fault. That's why spirit's helping you out here and helping you undo something that was done to you that wasn't your fault, that you've had to live with. But that's why you're getting this help. Because if you get yourself into a mess, you're going to have to get yourself out. But if you're not the one that put yourself into that mess, you're not responsible for getting yourself out. Like, you do your best, but you will have help. 4 of, when you let go, that's when you'll actually feel life. You could be someone who disassociates a lot. You could be someone who gets that derealization. Like, you're like, I'm here, but I'm not here. Like, I can see my body, I can see my hand in front of me, but I don't feel like I'm in it. I don't feel like I'm in my body. I don't feel like I'm here. And that's because your spirit wants so badly to be in that innocent feeling stage, but because of what you've been told, it's like you want to believe in everything, but you've been told only this is true. But it's not. And you don't have to believe that. It's like you can believe whatever you want, and what you're supposed to believe, is what makes you feel good. If it makes you feel good to believe in something, believe in it. If believing in something doesn't feel right, it feels sick, it hurts in your soul, in your stomach, then it's not true for you. And it's okay if it's true for somebody else. That can be. And it can also be that it's completely not true for you. Because again, we're all having this different experience. You can't compare yours to someone else. Because you'll never be someone else. You'll always be you. And so it's about accepting your own experience and knowing that that's valid. Your own experience and your own feelings are valid, even if nobody else shares them. In fact, in a way that makes them more special, because that means you are single-handedly holding and co-creating this perspective and this outlook and this experience of life that nobody else is. Source is working through you to experience something that's never been experienced before. That's a good thing. It's good to be different, and you've always wanted to be different, but you've tried to be different in all the wrong ways. You've tried to be unique in all the wrong ways instead of focusing on and it's like the things that actually made you unique, you tried to hide and you were ashamed of, but then you went out of your way in other ways that maybe you like a popular song, for example, like, but you're supposed to be someone who doesn't like popular music. Like, I don't like what everybody else likes. I'm not into that. And maybe you're really not. But then you like this one popular song, but it's like, you won't tell anybody because that's not who you're supposed to be, right? So it's like you're trying to be unique in that way instead of you have this, let's say you have a gift of talking to spirits, but you're like, oh, that's weird, that's cringy, I'm ashamed. I don't want to see dead people or whatever. But it's like, that's, if you want to be unique and you already have things that make you unique, you're hiding those things and trying to be unique in other ways that aren't even true to you. So not only do you not feel unique like you want to, but you're denying parts of yourself. But it's saying like, you already have what you want, just use what you have instead of trying to be something else. It's like everything you want is here. Like, you can have what you want, and you have the abilities to attain it and manifest it really well and better than most people. But you also can be so strong enough to get in your own way and block that. And it's like, it's almost like you're being an adult to your inner child, but not a good adult. Not like a guide, a protector, a teacher. You're being like no, that's not allowed. No, you can't do that. No, like telling them no. Like, no, that's not, you can't. That's not what anyone, I can tell you right now, nobody incarnated to be told no. Like, to not be able to do things, to not be able to try things, to not be able to experience things, to feel things. Nobody came here to not do that, okay? So that will never be the right answer for anyone. No, 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 no. And maybe you heard that a lot, and that's why you tell yourself that, but you gotta stop. And if you don't, this is being stopped for you, okay? But just know, when you start to hear that voice saying, no, you can't think that, you can't believe that, you can't feel that way, that's not true. Know that that's not you. That's somebody else. That's somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. That's an energy of ignorance. That's what it is. Be like, spirit of ignorance, bye, get out of here. You have no space here. I'm not ignorant. There's no home for you. Like, tell it that, because that is the spirit of ignorance. And ignorance only has power when you give it power. When you choose, because it has nothing to stand on, because it's not even true. It's nothing. It doesn't know anything. So it only has power if you give it power. If you say, actually, this is true. But like, don't power the spirit of ignorance, you know? Okay, so all Pentacles coming up. So this is really like, this is happening now in the physical. This is action you need to take now. So for you, I'm getting that you need to get out of your head and more into your physical body and take physical action. Like, make your actions match your beliefs. Define what you believe, not what you've been told to believe. And even if you're like, I don't know what to believe, that's okay. You don't have to, don't be so desperate to have something to believe in that you choose something you don't really believe in, if that makes sense. Just let yourself not know. It's okay. It's better to say, I'm really not sure, than to choose something just to feel like you do know, you know? Because that's ignorance. It's not ignorant to say, I actually don't know. That's intelligent. That's intelligence to admit there's something that you're not certain of or certain about within your spirit. That's good to admit. That's okay. And it's okay to stay there. It's okay if you're like, I'm still deciding. I'm still figuring that out. You don't owe anybody an answer. You don't owe anybody an explanation of who you are, of what you believe, of why you feel the way. You don't need to justify it. The justification is the feeling itself. The fact that you're experiencing it justifies it. Nobody else can do that for you. Even if there was an official justifier of what you believe, they would still not be more equipped than you. Nobody would. Who are they that they know better than you? Who are they that they're smarter? Who are they that they're more connected and closer to God than you? Who? Somebody needs to hear that. It's like, Spirit's like, you literally, I don't think you realize how blessed you are. I don't think you realize how many advantages you have. Because if you did, you would not be living the life you are. You would not be sad. You would not be, for someone I heard miserable. I'm not calling you that. That's just what I'm hearing. Like, you may be feeling sad and miserable. Not that you're miserable, just that that's how you may be feeling. But you're not supposed to. You're supposed to, like, in life, I don't want to say a warrior, because a warrior may not, like, a life of war and fighting doesn't necessarily sound fun. This is supposed to be more fun, but it's like about taking action and like really going after life and not holding back. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what feels natural to you. That's what comes natural to you. That's what you've held yourself back from. So all that's shifting for you right now. It's like all these people, all these, again, they don't even have, because there's a difference when someone genuinely in their heart believes something and they're telling it to you because they're being genuine, they're being honest, and they really think it will help you or benefit you in some way. There's a difference, even if it's not true or accurate, it's coming from a place of them wanting to love and help. But there's a difference between that and someone who doesn't even, it's like, it's just this energy of fear and ignorance. Like the fear is powering the ignorance. The fear keeps the cycle going, keeps the story going. That's not even true. So why do you keep repeating it? Because it comes from fear of not repeating it. And it's like you don't even know what the fear is. Like you can't even, if you actually think about it, you're like, what is the problem? What's the fear? Like you can't even explain it because it doesn't exist, you know? Anyway, I'm hearing like stop being a vessel for things to exist in that have no business even existing. These energies aren't even worth existing, and you're letting it exist in your sacred temple. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. I'll just do one more. This is acknowledging the pain you've been through in the past, because again, the message needs to come through. Spirit is not judging or blaming you at all for the choices you made, especially when you were a child and when you literally, I mean, children have little to no control at all over their life. Like you're pretty much at the mercy of whoever's taking care of you. So this is saying you will, like every time you were hurt, every time you cried, every time you felt so alone and like nobody was there to rescue you or to hear you or to understand how you felt, Spirit was there and Spirit was listening, and you will be avenged, I'm hearing. Wow. But you will be, like, every single tear you ever cried is going to be counted for. Like, it's still, you haven't been forgotten. Someone needs to hear that. You're not forgotten. You never were. You had to learn some things on your own to build up this strength and independence. But we're here. We've always been here. And they're wanting to make it up to you. Spirit is going to make it up to you. They're not just wanting to. They are going to. And this is their confirmation. They're going to make it up to you. All that you felt you had to miss out on or give up, if you felt you had to grow up too fast or focus on responsibilities when you should have just been playing, that will all, like all that was taken from you will be returned. And you may think, well, that can't be. I'm already grown. It can never be given back. No, not in the same way. But in a better way it can be, and it will be. And that's Spirit's promise to you. And I've never had that come through, a promise from Spirit. So I know that's important and special. Well, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.